That's one side of the coin. Are you ready for Rex to flip the coin? I'm going to flip the coin. I know you guys... See, I had to show you that side of the coin first. Because you would never want to hear about the other side of the coin first. Turn this off. That's not what I subscribe for. Okay. Here's the other side of the coin. Hey guys, Rex here. This is an episode of What Actually Happens in Rex's Garage, part 6, or whatever. Okay, so in terms of the bell curve, where I plot on the bell curve for these uploads, right? I spend most of the day working pretty hard on different projects. Some of it requires a tremendous mental energy. Some of it's a lot of physical labor. Some of it's tedious. I spent the last day or two, like since Sunday, organizing the garage. And it's been years since I've been in here actually trying to put stuff back into order. And if you study thermodynamics, there is the second law of thermodynamics, which is entropy, which means all things tend towards disorder without energy input. So the energy input has to be me to restore it to order, a creative force to make it not continue to die. For anything to continue in an organized fashion, has to be a creative force applied. So here I am trying to freaking keep my garage from descending into chaos. And in that story, because this is Rex's garage, and I don't know what I'm supposed to talk about in here, but I'll tell you the story. So Mama decides like, hey, I'm going to buy a blueberry muffin. This is Sunday morning. I'm going to buy a blueberry muffin and I'm going to eat it. So we buy a blueberry muffin and some coffee from the local place. And it was a treat. We go for a little drive, take the little guy for a walk, etc., right? And then all of a sudden, like, I'm doing my thing and I'm going through the car and I'm like, she forgot her blueberry muffin in my rig. And I'm like, hey, man, this stuff's like an hour and a half old, so I just tossed it. I'm like, garbage. It's old. It's probably not good for nothing. And then we start cleaning out the garage, and I see all this shit I've saved for decades. And I'm like, what in the hell? I am the hoarder of extremely toxic chemicals and caustic and acidic chemicals that would kill you by walking next to them. Like, probably better save this tube of freaking some kind of grout glazing compound from 1987 that I used one time to like seal tiles. And there's an activator dripper shit. It's half cement and half some kind of bubbling acid shit. Probably better save that. Blueberry muffin, too old, get rid of it. Mama wants to eat it. I don't got time for that. But horrible stuff in my pot. Like I filled up a freaking construction garbage bag like to the top with all kinds of horrific stuff. They're going to have to bury it under some kind of salt cave out in Utah or someplace at some super fun site. I'm going to drink a beer if that's okay with you guys. So just as a general sound check, I did upgrade my camera here. Now the furnace kicked on in the garage because it's winter time now. We had a blizzard the other day. Today was kind of nice. So the furnace kicked on. You just let me know if this is a little better than the old one. New camera, new audio. So the other audio was packed with carbon. The little microphones are just jam-packed with like a combination of gunpowder and soap, I think. Because I work so much, I try to play stuff and replay and study my stuff while I'm scrubbing my armpits in the shower. Never thought that would happen. A guy should probably have a moment of peace in life, right? Good thing I got at least one day designated for peace. Otherwise, I would totally ram myself off a cliff. I must get working. Rex, it's nice to be self-employed. Oh, really? Do you know what kind of boss I am to myself? I'm nice to other people mostly. Kind of. But like, when it's me, I'd like to... Nope. It's 4 a.m. You woke up to get a glass of water. You are now working. Way before sunup every day for months on end. Yep. What else did I find in the garage? some kind of bungee cord that was like torn in half and the half was missing, probably better save that, right? Like Mama's blueberry muffin, garbage, but like the bungee cord, but you know, I tied a knot on the other end and saved it. Or like some kind of freaking, I still got a lot of stuff up here. I got some antique tools, man. Like literally like from the 20s. Still works, man. Duct tape it. There's no place to hang it. Put some paracord on there, duct tape it, hang it on the hook. Still good. Put oil on it, like pliers that are rusted all the way top, like just put oil on it, it's fine. I'm like a pack rat of toxic, old, terrible things. Cheers, gentlemen. This is the Black Butte Porter to commemorate the most long 5-minute and 21-second intro I've ever done. Not really, I've done more. So what do you guys think of this whole Rittenhouse deal? Oh, there it kicked off. I'm curious to see how the audio turns out. So most people are pretty worked about Rittenhouse trial. At the time of this filming and upload, they just finished closing arguments, and tomorrow it will be deliberation. So by the time you watch this, they may very well have figured out what they're doing. But it's a way bigger deal than most people realize, but also way smaller of a deal than most people realize. I will explain. In the context of living in a constitutional republic called the United States of America, there is a precedent that is established for each given time where people get away with certain crap, and that's what is enforced by the king's men. We talked about the king's men earlier, didn't we? Right? And so, like, self-defense in general is on trial. Now, no matter what you think, oh, I shouldn't have been there, or I should have been there, whatever. Like, people argue about that stuff. Was it self-defense or was it not? I'll let you guys hash that out. I'm sure you understand where I stand on that. Okay? But like the idea that like you have to let communists not only like start to throw fits unchecked, run rampant unchecked. Protesting's great. I'm all about protesting. I've been at protests that I didn't even want to be a part of, just to see First Amendment stuff. I've organized ones. I mean, I've done stuff that was pretty radical back in the day in terms of protesting. And that's cool. It's part of the First Amendment. It's part of our responsibility here, okay? But like, when you start burning stuff and the media facilitates it and the politicians facilitate it, they complete and they basically are the terrorism cycle. And then they allow this to happen. I mean, I could rant on for 1,000 years on that, but like, I'm telling you what, if we can't clearly identify that, like, hey, when they're like when a mob of dudes lighting stuff on fire is going to beat you to death with skateboards and pull Glocks on you and shoot Glocks at you or whatever, right? When you're trying to put out the fires they're starting, that might be kind of weird, man. Like, oh, you just need to take the communist revolution. Well, Rex, they shouldn't have been out there. It's kind of stupid. Yeah. It is kind of stupid that a 17-year-old kid had to be out there in his brain to do that. I got a question, though, man. And I'm not saying one way or the other. It's my question. Why were 17-year-old kids and a bunch of young people out there doing that? Where was all these smart guys with all the answers? Where's all these tough guys? You know, like when freedom isn't free, people. So, now forgive me on this one, but this is the way I kind of see this deal. Hello, are you going for a drive? You going for a drive with Mama? Oh, yeah. Hi. No, you can't go on there. Hi. There's Mama. Oh, you're staying with me. Okay. Bye-bye, Mama. So, like, I forgot what I was talking about. Papa's talking to the thing, see? Want to come hang out? Yeah, you come here. You come hang out with me. Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, it's pretty fun, right? And so, like, why would a 17-year-old kid have to go out there and defend the country? See, everyone else is like all tough and stuff, like when duty calls. And I signed up one time for all that stuff. We put on BDUs and strap on the gun and like, we better sign up so we can go help Bill Clinton's political aims in Bosnia or like wherever, right? Like we'll drive like way more than 21 miles to get to the MEPS to go and sign up for the stuff and train for years to go and help out like some place that's a 14-hour plane ride away where we never met anybody and don't know anybody, and we'll be really worried about protecting the freedom over there, right? But like when it's in your county, well, you're just better probably hide in the bushes, like, well, I don't know what was that kid doing out there? He had no business, like, you didn't even do it right. Well, then you go do it right. Are you just gonna let the communists, the communists aren't allowed to invade Korea or Vietnam at all, right? Or yeah, you like that? He's got his little water pistol here. But like when the communists invade your county, then like, well, I don't know what you want to do that for. What the hell? It's actually just, I don't get it. One of the reasons why, like when I saw the values that they put on the PowerPoints, man, I'm like, how exactly does this translate to what exactly we're doing? I don't get it. How dare you? How dare you say things that I didn't want to hear? I know guys that dedicated their whole life to that thing only to be extremely remorseful at the end and say, I'm not doing that anymore. I refuse to train or assist or equip or do the enemy's fighting for us. Hallelujah that they finally were able to, come to that deal. But like when there's actual communists like invading your county, man, I'll tell you what, people like, where are they? Why are the 17-year-old kids running around out there with zero training, zero clue, getting into stupid trouble? Well, their tactics, well, they have no idea to do the tactics. Where were you in your tactics? Just a question and a few statements. You see now, like where I'm at, kind of a different context, because those guys who are old around where I'm at showed up before the stuff happened, because it's a doing culture where I'm at and not a talking culture. They did that. And they also were smart enough to organize to make sure that maybe like the police department and sheriff's department was like totally on board. Or they more accurately issued a notification, hey, like we are not going to allow the community to be ransacked by a bunch of radical communists, globalist minions. We're going to stop it. And they happen to be on the same page because the culture is, the law enforcement's a reflection of the culture. And where I'm at, it happened to be on the same page as old veterans guys. So the 17-year-old kids didn't have to go out there and do all this shit. Because the old guys did it for them. Because that's the proper order. If that's really a thing. So where was all and there was lots of them out there I've seen, but people always like argue about the wrong stuff. Like in order to alleviate guilt for not participating, they just yell at some kid. Well, then where were the old guys that are so smart? Not saying he did it smart. He didn't do it smart, in my opinion, but at least he was trying to not let communists take over the country. That's my opinion. That's one side of the coin. Are you ready for Rex to flip the coin? I'm going to flip the coin. I know you guys... See, I had to show you that side of the coin first. Because you would never want to hear about the other side of the coin first. Turn this off. That's not what I subscribe for. Okay. Here's the other side of the coin. It's a trick. They're trying to get you emotionally toast, completely exhausted, so run down spiritually. Take out all your momentum, throw a monkey wrench into the gears to where you will eventually, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. You will crash and burn just from a lack of supply chain. You will not have the spiritual momentum to carry through what's really planned. So they hit you I don't know if this is exactly the right words, but it was explained to me like this one time by bro. A mosaic attack, like the little paintings where you have a million different little pictures all in a giant picture. So they got the Charlie Victor 1-9er, and they got the pokage, and they got the mandatory pokage, and the other kind of mandatory pokage, and the illegal deals, and then the female Islamic garb that everyone has to wear that are dudes in this country. And then they got that, and they got this, and they got these other arguments, and then they got the politics, and then they like don't count certain things you write down on paper to vote for whoever you want to do. And then they do all this stuff all at the same time. And the objective is to toast your brain. I got another bro who in the 80s was behind the Iron Curtain for the U.S. Army, working for stuff there. Really cool guy. Just talked to him again the other day. And he brought up a point and sent me some stuff that was kind of on this line. The whole thing is a psychological attack to overwhelm you. And I'm recalling when I hung out with him a long time ago, maybe 10 years ago, 8 years ago, down in San Diego, California. And we're out on the ocean doing stuff, and helicopters flew over, and we're like stopping and waving and stuff. It's kind of cool. He's like, Rex, it's your friends. I'm like, no, I don't think they are, but I'll wave anyways. And he said, well, here's the actual story. So we're getting the salt water out of the engines on the boat because you got to put like fresh water hose onto there when you're done because it corrodes the engines, I guess, right? So you flush it out with fresh water, which takes like a while on some of these boats. And we're in one of these half hard, half soft boats. I don't know what the hell they're called. And we're there, and there's this old black dude. And he comes up, and he's like, hey, boy. Oh, no, I'm just going to say the story. I'm from North Dakota. Calm down. I don't know what the hell was appropriate anymore, okay? He's like, you know what? Do you know the Lord? And I'm like, I do know the Lord. Were you saved? I'm like, yeah. Yep. I think so. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I think I know what you mean by it. And yeah, I would say that, like, I would hope so, right? And he's like, let me tell you something, son. Don't you ever let anybody take away your happiness. And I'm like, huh? And he's like, and me and a couple other dudes are there, and he's like, don't you ever let anyone steal away your happiness. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Don't let anyone steal away your happiness. I made memes on that over the years since I heard that. That was with my bro. But that guy came out of nowhere in the spot he shouldn't have been. I don't know if it was an angel or what, but he said something that was very true. Oh, yeah, I know. All right. Bye-bye. Bye. And it's 100% true. I got a lot of comments over the years, oh, Rex, when the apocalypse happens, I'd love to be over there because we're going to make fun of it. We're going to just be laughing. That's my goal. What's the worst they can do? Take away your birthday? The whole game is they want your soul. They want to steal your happiness. The reason that the enemy, I think, is putting us through all this is because he's jealous that we were happy with him. Trying to rob us of that, trick us into not embracing it. You can be happy in the midst of the worst tribulation you can imagine. The worst tribulations that have happened in the world. You can be happy in the midst of them. And I have a microcosm experience in that. I've been very happy in terrible circumstances. And I've been very miserable in extremely good circumstances. It's all a state of mind in directing it that way, period. Don't let those bastards steal away your happiness. Okay? So yes, huge amount at stake in terms of if our happiness is connected to the horizontal plane of this constitutional republic working out the way we want it to, rather than his will working out however it's supposed to. Not saying we shouldn't participate, but like, this is a test. And when you get a hard question on the test, acknowledge it's a hard question. Acknowledge that the test isn't about the question that they actually gave you. It's just like in other hardcore selection processes, like, hey, private, How about carry this 40-pound cement slab of shit up that mountain again? Like, what? Yeah, but I can't. Well, do it. They know you can't carry the cement slab up the mountain more. They want to see how you react. They want to see if you're going to come unglued at the seams. They want to see if you're miserable to be around. Well, stuff is hitting you from different directions. Of course life is hard. Of course knowing that that's the test makes it easier. Just smile and be like, yay, more concrete to carry up a mountain. Take on the concrete, smile, wave, climb the mountain until you can't carry it, and then when you fall over, then you'll wake up and maybe you pass the test without actually doing the thing that you thought you were supposed to be doing. Don't let anyone steal away your happiness. And that's my message for tonight.